information, guidance, and support to entrepreneur-minded individuals like yourself. TTalks.net will give you something to talk about tomorrow. This isn't the Daily Show, but this is the show where you'll get everything. You'll get a fiesta of a mix with the old and the new. They will give you tips and insights into everyday business, big wins in everyday life. They have a lot to add, from bookkeeping to sales, sales management, and sales training, and daily content for listeners to learn and enjoy. We are here to improve your life and business or sales career. Without any further ado, introducing the dynamic duo, Alex DeLuca and Rafael Rodriguez Jr.
Well, good evening, Alex. How you doing?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Awesome. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Tea Talks. My name's Alex DeLuca, hanging out in Naples, Florida today. We're trying to give you an action-packed half hour, as always, 10 p.m. on the dot, Eastern Standard Time. I'm loving the energy. I don't know about you, Ralph.
Oh, I'm just loving it. 10 o'clock on the dot. We're on cue.
That's it.
It's moving along. I think we're getting better, and
we're trying. Thank God we have a good producer. He's really figuring it out over there.
Yeah, I know. What's his name?
What's his name? Mr. Rafael Rodriguez,
Jack
author,
of all trade, master of none.
The host, the co-founder, co-creator, creator, the master, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Old School on the other side of Florida. And then you got the new school in Naples, just moving over here into new territory. We're touching base on topics daily that will impact your career if you are in sales, if you run a business, if you have any aspiration of being an entrepreneur. Please turn into Tea Talks. That's what we're all about. We're here to just help that one person every episode. By our official launch date, April 15th, we will try to promote this thing a little bit more across the nation and really try to get a following here. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. My hair will turn gray before I leave this show, definitely.
Well, I definitely can't say that because my hair is turning gray. But I do understand what you're talking about.
No, of course.
But, we got some juicy stuff to go over today. We talked about those short, sweet sales tips that we get to use, but sometimes we don't even know it. And sometimes we know it, but we don't use it.
Yeah.
So I think it's just great that, we just do a little refresher. And not only am I helping and we're helping you, the listener, but we're also touching up and refreshing some of the stuff that might be sitting in the shelf. And, it's time to go ahead and pull it out.
I love how you say that, sitting in the shelf. My buddy posted something on social media where I think it was like a 1974 Camaro was sitting in one of those Connex crates, and that thing was brand new, man, prime, ready to go. And nobody has used it in decades, right? And that how many, bullets that we have learned over the years, like, damn, I wish I used that one in that appointment, or dang, I wish I used that one. But there's so much in our minds on a daily basis, from prospecting to following up to being on cue for our appointments where we put on our show. We do miss out on things. It's human nature, but I'm sharpening my pencil and my sword every episode. You turn in and you'll get the same juice in real time, because we're doing it, living it, and have been doing it for a combined 4 decades.
You've been nice to me. I appreciate it. No, and you know what? The one thing that we got to understand is that just like a sharp knife, after so many uses, you got to sharpen it again. Otherwise, it starts turning dull.
You got to sharpen your knife, lube your gun, or it's not going to work.
Absolutely. And, and hopefully we could be that sharpening tool for you and move up to the next level. Because that's, at the end of the day, all we're looking for is to be better at whatever we do. Whatever your trade is, we want to be better. If you're
Like, no, go ahead.
no, I said, if last year you made $100,000, then let's go shoot for 125, and then once you hit 125, let's hit 150, and the numbers just keep going on, and there's going to be a point where, you just want to be happy. I mean, money is not everything, but man, does it help.
The byproduct of money makes life easier. At the same time, money is the root of all evils, but money makes the world go round. I've been an entrepreneur round and round we go. Right. It's unfortunate, and it's fortunate at the same time. We're in America. This is the land of the free, the greatest place to live in the planet. People come here rather than any place to start a business around the entire world. The opportunity is immense. Our population's crazy. You don't even have to have money to start a business nowadays with online e-commerce. You can sell other people's products from your living room. There you go. Affiliate marketing, that's a huge one. Got to learn how to monetize that there. But Talk topics of tonight. Getting back to the best sales tips. We want to touch base on the last part of your process in the sales cycle, right? A sale call, more or less. So what do you got to do? You got to close. So we're going to try to give you the best tips right now. We'll start off with the Talks, closing sales tips, Ralph. What do you got?
The one thing, at least I'm a firm believer, is that don't try to give like the house away with a big discount. I'll give you 50% off to just win that deal.
50% off. That's like a credibility kill.
Yeah, it is. But some people do it. I mean, they're so desperate that they're willing to give the house, and you're doing a disjustice to yourself and to the company, because you might be jeopardizing the profitability on that.
Well, look, that could be a good closing tip. I'd never go 50% by all means, but if that's like your only reason is for them to sign up with you, is they get a discount. Come on, where's the building and the value of your product, service, or commodity?
Definitely, you again. It's not so much about saying I'm going to give you a percentage off, but I will take the avenue of what will it take for us to go ahead and consummate this deal. It's a price.
If you're listening, he said this yesterday. Go ahead and write that down. If you're afraid to ask that question, please ask it tomorrow. What will it take to make this deal happen now, today?
Exactly.
I'm here.
Well, and you got to understand that we can play around with that 50% off. We can always say 50% of retail instead of wholesale price. We can say 50% off of whatever number you just came up with. So it's a numbers game, but hopefully it's a win-win situation for you, for the company, and also for the client.
No, yeah, for sure, and that's huge. Huge closing, guys. This is where it all. You just created the masterpiece, the Picasso, and now it has to dry, and you have to set the first, the last final colors. This is it's game time, it's close time. This is your confidence. It built up to here, and it's just asking the questions correctly and confidently to get the close at the end of the day. And if you have to ask the right questions at the beginning when you're trying to find out the wants and the needs, you can use those bullets again in your close.
And you can take notes, guys. And you know what note taking does? And I'm the guy that has never taken notes from kindergarten all the way to my master's. Now working on my DBI. I have never taken notes because I always took mental notes, but I sometimes will take notes because what it shows is that you care about what they're saying. And even though I don't need to, but I still remember we talked about the presentation is your show. Taking notes is part of the show.
That's it, and that's taking notes from what they're saying.
Exactly.
Everything they're saying, or rather than you point something out, and it's a detail on the roof, or it's something that they really want to get covered in their health insurance, or it's something they really want in that car or vehicle, or if you're taking notes on that, obviously you know it. You're not going to forget about it because you're going to use it as a bullet. But the whole sharing is caring, taking notes is caring. At the end of the day, it's really, and that goes back to when we're training people, right? How many times do you look at the person that's in your circle, before COVID, and we're training, 25 people in one room at one time, and you look at that new guy has a notepad. Okay, I know what type of person he is. That new guy, he doesn't have a notepad. I know exactly what type of person he's going to be. Do you, and that's the person that you kind of, let's get behind that guy. Let's motivate him. Let's make him really want this. And then, you sit down, you have that talk with him, and if he comes in with a notepad tomorrow, he's ready to go. If he doesn't, he's never going to change.
Well, and keeping in mind that we don't want to prejudge, because if you were looking at me, you'd probably say this guy's nuts. So, but definitely, it's one of the traits that will be favorable if that individual, especially taking notes. But I wanted to leave one of the first ones. I wanted to leave it to you because we started talking about it before the show. About being strange but true. What was that we were talking about? Yeah,
so being strange but true. You can close deals faster by sending your prospects 3 versions of the same contract rather than 2. Not the same contract, but I was like, what the hell do you need 3 for? I'm confused the crap out of them. But it does make sense, right? You have 3 different options, 3 different, say, levels, price tiers, or what it covers. Like, this is the best, better, and best program, more or less. Well, what I'm trying to say there. But when it comes to the roofs, like, you have this roofing system is going to cover X, or I can give you this roofing system with another underlayment, or you can have a tile roof option. I'm breaking it up to the analogies in the different businesses. We'll save that for a different day, but you get the picture there.
And you can also break down into 3 different payment tiers as well. This is
the financing
for 5
options.
years, 6, 10 years, 15 years. It doesn't
what works best for you?
The contract, but it's just giving them 3 different options for them to make a decision.
And then you can use your bullets that we talk about. If you took notes in the beginning, when you ask them what is affordable for you on a monthly basis for this type of work, they've already given you that number, and I find that out within 10 minutes of sitting down at the table, more or less, what's affordable for them, or what's their idea of paying cash or monthly payments. And then you use that with your 3 different options at the end. Say, hey, this is a 5-year term. I know you said you can afford X, but this is a little bit more. Or in this one's a little bit less, but the middle one's always going to be right there for them because you're already, key to throw that in there.
And the next one we've been saying a couple times, but is there any reason if we gave you the product at this price that you wouldn't do business with our company?
That's just another, question. You have to have some cojones and built-in calluses in your sales career to go ahead and just throw that out there. Is there any reason at all, if you have this product at the price today, that you wouldn't do business with our company, like right now, today? And you're either going to get a yes, or you're going to come up, and you're just digging and overcoming more objections at that point. And that's really the easiest way to get down to brass tacks and what's going on there, is throwing out these direct questions.
Sweet.
Sweet.
The one thing that at least in the roofing side, there are things that you can offer that doesn't necessarily, it has to be a number that you give. You can give, you buy XYZ, we're going to give you widget B, or, if it's a roof, we're going to give you, instead of 3 plywood, we're going to give you 5 plywood and 100 linear feet of fascia. Just to go ahead and kind of sweeten the deal, per se, without having to give a big a 10, 15% discount, even a 5% discount. So that's always a good thing to have in your pocket, that you can pull out and whip it out and say, hey,
bam,
I got this for you. Will this sweeten up the pot so we can go ahead and start doing some business?
You know what one of my favorite closes are that I probably use more than ever, and they're probably, sometimes it's like I put on the act too much, is when, I know that this is when I know that it's probably more on the second appointment, or if I'm on a first appointment and I'm already number 3 or 4 estimate in the house, and I'm trying to close them on the spot and price, and I sold the heck out of myself, the heck out of the company. The energy's there, and they're just not budging on the price, and I'm never going to be the lowest guy. But I always have enough room on the table to play. So I'll pack up my stuff. I'm like, look, all right, I understand. I really want to do business with you guys, but I'm going to just leave this for you guys to think about it. And I just start packing up my stuff because I'm not budging on my price. As soon as I get to the door, I'm like, wait, let me just do one thing. I'm going to step outside and I'm going to make a quick phone call. I'm probably going to call you. Yeah, I don't even work with your ass. Hey, Ralph, what's going on, man? I just need to act like I'm talking to somebody. All right, cool. And then I walk back in the house. I'm like, look, I just got off the phone with my production manager. We're able to do this right now. And a lot of times that works. And it's making that phone call, even making that phone call in front of them. And you had a guy, Mark Schramm or something like that worked with a shirt. The guy, great guy. And fast forward, awesome guy. Fast forward, he really didn't know much about the business, and there would be times where I know he's calling, another friend, Joe, on the phone in front of the homeowner, and Joe's selling the product, and the deal still gets closed. But it just shows you have a team behind you. You have somebody you can call to bounce things back and forth, and if you do that for a homeowner, that really makes them feel like that you're trying to do something for them. And like I said, all I did was call you.
Well, and the one thing I do want to caution is that those pressure close. I think that the consumer with the internet and with the reviews and with so much information out there, they're very sophisticated. So trying to do the 4-step close and the box close and the pressure doesn't necessarily works very well. And people do walk away from it. So you got to be able to know where to stop and don't push the envelope so hard that you just close yourself from making a deal. So I always give them caution in regards to
that's
pushing
huge.
Too hard.
And that's huge, and that's when you'll start seeing a lot of buyer's remorse, calling in, canceling before the 3 days. You'll notice that sometimes it's even your top guy. And he just doesn't even know he's pushing hard. He's just on his grind. But, that does happen, the fall off from, buyer's remorse and homeowners or people canceling contracts because they, really felt that they were pressured into the situation. I've mentioned this before. I used to have to do that because I was, the most expensive person in town for certain products. Just because that was my business structure and it's how we were able to do it. But today, and being in a competitive world, like that would be impossible to do right now, post-COVID. So, make sure your margins are fair. You're making enough money for the business, your overhead, and you're able to give the best prices you can to the clients. We talk about all the time, rather make a little bit, a lot, than just a lot one time.
Sweet. All right. Let's jump into general sales tip.
General sales tips. We've been touching on these general sales tips for 2 days now. So let's keep going. We got another 20 tips that we've written down. We're going to go ahead and dissect a few for the next 15 minutes. Ralph, what do you got?
Jump right in. When you're in a sales slump, set a couple small achievable goals to create momentum and boost your confidence. That's like almost a no-brainer. We talk about writing goals. I'm a very goal-oriented person, man. And I can remember back in the day, early in sales, knocking on doors and just having my notepad that I'm sure you saw before when I used to teach the sales classes, and I write down my little goals when I'm out in the field. Like I'm sweating my butt off. It's 100 degrees outside, and I'm out here knocking on doors. What the heck's going to motivate me? Money. And let's go ahead and write what money can provide. A house, a car, golf, a vacation, whatever it is. And then the vision board, going back to the secret. I have a filing cabinet over there in my closet right now. It has a check written for $100,000, I think, in 2014. Let me hold on 1 second. Da, 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 da. Dun, 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 dun.
2009.
Wow.
2009, and it's still there. That was 3 years after high school. I had watched This Secret for the first time, I think, fresh out of high school. It's there, man. And have I seen that money come in? Yes. Have I seen it go out? Hell yes. I'm a firm believer of, I saw it come in and I saw it come out, and that was my fault. I've done it a few times in my life, but this time I'm seeing it coming in. I'm holding on to a little bit.
That would be a couple more episodes down the line. We did talk about the roller coaster and having the cushion, and and if you have done that, you're not alone. Everybody's gone through it. You see money coming in, and you think it's gonna keep. It's almost like a faucet, and the money just keeps dropping until all of a sudden. And how many times did we see this in the sales force where people will push and you push them, and then all of a sudden they get these big checks that they've never seen, and then all of a sudden
Someone
they
might disappear. Gone, disappear. And that's why I stare at 10 grand basically every day.
It's like, now you're hot, keep going.
And that's I'm glad you brought that up, and sales reps are born procrastinators, and they can get satisfied pretty darn quick. You write your own ticket, so that's a dangerous thing, and it's a good thing at the same time. It really is, because we've seen sales reps, like he said, make 10 grand in a month, and boom, gone. Who knows what the heck they do? And
the money runs out, and they're back again, and now they're behind the 8 ball, and they're trying to force it, and they're in a slump, and then all of a sudden it's like, they lose confidence within themselves.
And we talked about this yesterday too. Even if you're in a financial bind, that's a burden on you. Like it's a dog smells fear, a homeowner smells weird situations when you're trying to push things that aren't right, when you're trying too hard, and without being experienced as I am, only eight years into the home improvement business, something like that, and 15 plus years of sales. There's thick skin behind me now. I'm a very indifferent person. I could almost be not a psychiatrist, but I read people. It's crazy how I can just read a person nowadays just from being in the field for so long. What they're going to say next, I almost know it by the face they make. It's crazy.
Well, and it comes with experience, and it doesn't come overnight. And it doesn't. It's hours and hours of being on the floor, doing your show, dealing with different people and reading different people, and everybody is different.
All walks of life, from Florida to Missouri to Tennessee to Kentucky to Ohio, Michigan, Maine. They're all different people, man. And we're just here in Florida. They all come here, baby.
That's right. That's right. And talking about sales, did you ever create a sales mission statement?
Oh, Jesus. The elevator pitch, right? Like how many, that's one of the first things you do almost in training, without that company giving you an idea. They'll tell you, say, this is what we're about. This is our statement. This is our product. And they ask you to make an elevator pitch and see, you be creative with it. But that's one of the fun things to do, definitely, is the mission statement.
Well,
but that's huge,
And hopefully that mission statement helps you when in doubt. You kind of check it out, and it drives you to do the right thing, and make the decision making process easier for you. I'm gonna jump right into the next one, which is
is that the believe one?
You gotta believe.
You gotta believe in what you're selling.
If you don't believe it, that person on the other side ain't gonna believe it.
Dude, I got the best windows. I got the best cars. I got the best insurance. I got the best roofs. I got the best of the best of the best. I say the best. It's as cheesy as that sounds. When I'm reading for material for this show. That's another thing I came up on. Like, you might think it's silly and redundant, and if you do it with one person, you do it with 3 people, it's like, wow, I'm saying this all the time, but you're really not. That person's only hearing it a few times. But it's well, you gotta believe in it.
Typically, my approach is the reason why you're dealing with the best is because you're dealing with me.
Yep.
And not to be cocky or anything like that, but I'm looking out for the best interest of my clients. Don't take it from me. I have plenty of people you can call and just verify. I'll
Oh,
go.
jeez.
I will go for hell and back to make sure that you're happy. I will bend over backwards as much as I can. Hopefully, it won't crack my back, but I'll do everything I can because that's what I'm here to help.
You know what I just thought about as we're talking?
Huh?
Like, you know what I just thought about as we're going talking about this right now? Like our LinkedIn page, right? It's a personal page. It's not a business page. So no matter what product or commodity that we sell on a daily basis, we should just have people write reviews on us, on our character, on dealing with us, not about the company, and just put that on our LinkedIn page. Like, this is a review for Alex DeLuca. This is a review for Rafael Rodriguez. He's a great person. We talked about XYZ. He cared. He talked about my family, my mother in Trinidad. Like, I get personal with clients, and I think that might be a great idea for any organization, is for you to build your LinkedIn based on personal referrals or reviews. I don't know. I might be onto something there.
That might be the next $1 million idea. And without you knowing it, born in Tea Talks.
Live, 10:25 p.m. March 3rd, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tea Talks. We're giving you good tips, big wins. Real quick, before we jump into the next topic, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Elon Musk, made history today. He landed a Starship rocket, brother. He landed it. He landed Starship, or SN-10. It hit the launch pad today after going 6.3 miles in the air, belly flopping, and landing right back on the pad. This is a something ridiculous ton rocket. The guy's amazing. That's a big win for human mankind right there. This guy is he's leading the way, man, for innovation. I'll tell you that.
And the irony of irony is that his first business plan, PayPal, they told him that was the worst idea that they have ever heard. You know about that story, right?
No, yeah, of course, man. I study that, man. They thought it was a joke. It was to pay for what was PayPal originally for? I think it was like video games or video books or something like that.
I believe it was a combination of books and
some digital selling stuff, and that's how you paid for it. But it was the first digital wallet. Cash, forget that, forget cash. They thought he goes to Russia after he sells that. And they tell him, listen here, rich American, you can't afford a spaceship. He's like, okay. He comes home. The guy learns how to build a freaking spaceship, man. Mind blowing to me. Boring company, SpaceX. He's going to Mars.
All right,
back on topic.
Jump into the next one. Directly address complaint from clients. Demonstrate how you will improve, and then do it. Always do what you say. Say what you do.
Definitely. Huge. Like I tell my, when you're reprimanding your kids, you want them to do as you do, not as you say, more or less. It's all about action. But, being direct and addressing the complaints, that'll save you a review online. That'll save you time, money, aggravation, everything. Addressing it. There's no reason you should not answer a phone call from a person because you don't want to. No matter if they're a pain in the butt homeowner or you're the pain in the butt. At the end of the day, it's your business, and it's not your business. Maybe your boss's business. You're next out in the line for them. You got to make things right. Don't dodge them. The worst thing you could do.
Look at tip 171. Never stop learning. Keep your knowledge of the product up to date. Role play sales call and read industry news. Huge.
We talk about that all the time. Knowledge. Learn. I thought school was a joke. I did it to play baseball. I went to school for sports medicine and environmental science, and I played baseball. Now, out of school, I read more than I've ever read in my life. If I had time, like this guy Raphael on the other side, I might go back to school, but I don't know how he finds the time with the gray hairs and they keep disappearing. But he makes it happen. But no, it's all about learning. Everybody can learn in their own ways. We're sitting in front of this camera. I got 5 tabs in front of me open all the time. YouTube can teach you how to be an electrician. or make a bomb. It's scary. You can do anything. Don't say that on, don't search that or anything.
And due to time constraint, I think we'll take one or two. I'm going to say your mantra should be always be helping rather than always be closing. Now,
oh, you went to ABH instead of ABC?
Yes.
That's deep.
I know, because we always say always be closing, but in theory, we should be always be helping.
Listen, my career changed that mindset at least 3 years ago now. I'm always closing, but I'm trying to help people every day. I come across as a helper. I'm here to help you.
Yep.
I make your problems go away when you see me. That's me. That's what I do. Let me handle it. It's my problem. We're doing business to sleep at night, and that's why we're here. So I'm going to drop one and take the top performing salespeople at your company out for lunch and ask their advice on selling your product.
Sweet. I love
this
that
is
one.
huge. I don't care if they're in a freaking different state. I don't care where they're at. Colleagues nationwide, anybody that's in your industry, the number one thing that you can do is copy what the best person's doing to be successful. Somebody's doing what you're doing right now, including me and you, Ralph, and they're doing it way better. Why wouldn't you want to pick that person's brain? Sit down at the lunch table with them, buy them lunch, or get on a phone call and network with the person that's doing better than you. You might be the top person in your city, but there might be somebody in Denver that's doing it better than you. And, we started off with, take your salespeople out to lunch so they can get the advice on your products. And as a manager, you take that juice and that mojo and that information. You're going to go ahead and spread it and relay the information. And after you do it, you're going to say, hey, go out with Johnny and have him tell you directly himself what's going on.
Absolutely. Well, anything else you want to go ahead and bring before we sign off?
Elon Musk is amazing. T Talks is the best show to watch. 10 p.m. Eastern time, live on Facebook right now. We will get our Spotify's up to date and the YouTubes, but right now we're making this work. Our official launch is April 15th, guys. This is T Talks. Big wins, big tips, business on a daily basis.
Thank you for tuning in to ttalks.net. If you have any questions, comments, or something you want us to talk about, email us at raphael@ttalks.net or comment below. Please follow us on YouTube at ttalksnet and Facebook at ttalksnet. Please rate us and don't forget that sharing is caring. Thank you for your support. Till next time, we will T-Talk later.
And my name's Alex DeLuca Naples. We're signing out.